All right, I'm going to go over with you a project that you're going to have for the fourth quarter, okay? First thing is that this is worth a quiz grade. It will, obviously, it's assigned today. It is due in like 2 weeks from Monday. So you have like a little over 2 weeks to complete this, okay? The name of it is called an interview project, and the idea is that you're going to actually interview a college student about what it's like to take math in college. So depending on who you interview, you might get a totally different experience, right? Some people go to a small university in which their classes are small, like this setting. They have somebody, either a professor or a TA that leads their class. You might have somebody that goes to a school in which they're taking an online math course, and I want you to find out what that's like. Or they might go to a huge university in which they do something called like a lecture and a discussion, which maybe they meet with a professor for 2 days a week, and then with a huge setting like in an auditorium, and then 2 days a week followed up by like a TA in a small setting like this, okay? So I want you to, I'm going to give you all the information about the questions and all the stuff that you're going to ask, and then you are going to reflect upon your interview. What did you learn from it? What kind of questions that are just based for you to answer? And then you're going to do some research on the cost that it's going to be when you go to your university, okay? So if you are a senior, I would highly recommend that you research the one that you're going to. If you are a junior, pick one, something that maybe you think you're the most likely to go to. If you're a sophomore and you haven't even gotten there yet, then again, just pick one. I'm not going to come back in 3 years and say you can't go to that university because you didn't do your interview project on that, okay? If you go to the module that says project or interview project, the only thing that's there right now says this, okay? When you click on the project instructions, it's going to go through a lot of what I just said, okay, and then more in top of that. So it says your project is to interview either a current college student or a recent, and by recent I mean within the last 5 years. So if your parent graduated from college like 30 years ago, I don't want you interviewing them, okay? I have far surpassed this 5 years, so don't come and ask me questions. But if you know somebody that's either currently in it or has graduated in the last 5 years, that's who you want to focus on. Your responses to the interview questions should be in paragraph format or question and answer format, but they should be full sentences. So you're not going to say blah, 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 and then no. You want to be full sentence in response to your question answers. You've got to follow MLA format for the headings and the work cited, okay? You must include a course description for the math course that you interviewed the student about, an 8-semester sample track for the major that you're interested in, a budget of your expected costs, and a work cited. So those are all the different components that you're going to turn into me. In that list are the questions. You're going to identify the person you interviewed. What's your relationship to them? And then you're going to ask them, what was their major in college? Did it change? Do they think it might if they're still currently a student? What made them choose that major? What profession will or did they pursue if they already graduated? Will or did that profession require you to continue your education beyond a 4-year degree? For example, a master's, med school, law school, or some sort of certification. How many math courses did they take or will they take in college? If they had AP credit, then obviously you want to mention that. If they didn't have to take AP Calc in college because they had AP credit, that is still a college course. They just took it before they got there. And then what were they? So if they took, I don't know, college algebra and statistics, then those are the two you're going to list. If they took Calc and Calc 2, then those are the ones you're going to list. Once you've interviewed them, for those questions, you want to focus in on just one math class. So ask them if they've taken more than one. Just think about one of those math classes. And the first thing you're going to do is identify which one it is. So if they took pre-calc and they took calc, then focus on one. Okay, so the class I'm going to focus on is calculus. How many hours a week did you meet for lecture? Okay, so were you in a big hall? Were you in a small hall? How many hours did you meet for that? How many hours did you meet for discussion, if any? So like I said before, some of them are going to be just with a teacher and maybe 3 times a week. And some of them might be with a professor in an auditorium 2 days a week, and then a smaller lab or discussion setting other days a week. That's discussion. How many students were in their lecture class or discussion? Again, this is an approximation. They don't have to literally walk around and count in the auditorium how many people are there. How were the assignments given? Were they optional or were they checked for grades? How many hours did they spend a week on these assignments and or studying? How many exams did the class have? What format were the exams in? If they were multiple choice, short answer. What is the weight of the grade? So what percentage of their grades came from work, if any? What percentage of their grade came from exams, midterms, finals? Then when you're done with that, so 1 through 14 is about them. Then 15 is about you. So you switch and you answer these questions based on the interview. Are you interested in attending the same college as the person you interviewed? If so, why? If not, where are you attending or where are you interested in attending? Are you interested in the same major, something similar? Why or why not? What did you learn based on your interview? Are your plans for college set? If yes, what are they? Have you thought about the career you want? If yes, what is it and why did you choose it? And what did you learn from creating your budget? If you give me one-word answers on these, or if you give me simple little non-elaborate answers, then expect your grade to reflect that. If you take the time and actually put thought in this, which is the goal, then your grade will reflect that, okay? And you'll see the rubric, the interview is a big chunk of it. Then comes your budget. So you are going to, and I would strongly encourage you to sit down with a parent and have a discussion about your budget. Okay, you want to hone in on the school that you are attending now. You want to figure out what the fees are. Okay, this can be a really good experience to learn from. I'll tell you that the feedback I get on this project is probably like the best of any project I've ever done because you're learning a lot about what it's going to be like. Okay, you need to have an honest conversation with your parents. Where is the money going to come from? Okay, you might find that you have prepaid. You might find that you don't. You might find that your parents can just give you the financial support, or maybe you're going to have to take out loans, okay? But you've got to figure out that information. If you are on track to get Bright Futures, you can assume that you will get it. So you can say, with my current scores and my current GPA, I would earn Bright Futures, 100%, 75%, whatever it is, you can do that. If you're going to an out-of-state school, then you need to research it like you're an out-of-state student, okay, which means tuition is higher. Your budget should include all of your expenses from class fees, books, supplies, to housing, driving expenses, food, and extras. Don't tell me that you're going to eat off $20 a week. That's not possible, okay? State how much each is and how you plan to pay for these, and I have a sample budget for you. And note that your income should be greater than or equal to your expenses, okay? You're not like running up credit card debt on this pretend simulation. And then in this order is what you'll hand in to me. The questions and responses, an 8-semester track, which I'll show you what that looks like, a course description, the budget, and the MLA works cited will be the last thing. All of the parts should be submitted as one PDF file with the exceptions of any extra video or presentation, which I'll go into. Questions on the overall interview or budget? Okay. The next thing on that assignment is an interview, 8-semester track, and course description. So once you figure out what you are going to identify as to be the major that you are interested in, you will find some sort of track, okay? It's not necessarily, like UF calls it an 8-semester track. Not all universities call it that. They could call it a 4-year plan, okay? What you're looking for is some sort of map of courses for the 4 years that you will be earning your degree, okay? So in this case, this is actually the courses I took. Computer science, macroeconomics, pre-calc, survey of calc. These are the required courses for the major that I used. I want you to find it about the major you are interested in, not your person, okay? This is for you. And again, it should be over the course of 4 years, or if your program is more than 4 years, then it should include more than 4 years. The course description that you're going to include, and literally if you just interview a person and they went to UM and the course they're describing is calculus, then you can go to UM's website and search for calculus course description, and it's that easy to find, okay? This is of the person that you interviewed that course. So the course description is that course. Questions so far? Okay. Then next on that assignment is an interview budget sample, okay? Do not, God bless you, do not turn into me a handwritten budget, okay? Everything should be typed. So you can use a chart. You can type this and space it out if you want to. A great way to build, God bless you, the budget would be using numbers if you're familiar with numbers. If not, then someday we can play around with it, okay? Or Excel if you want to use your computer. But you should have some sort of an organized chart. Okay, so notice that it's separated by expenses and income. How much are the classes going to cost you? And this is annually. How much are your car expenses if you have to pay for a parking pass, if you're paying for gas, if you're having to rent an apartment or pay for a dorm, whatever your food might be, and then fun and entertainment, okay? All of that obviously should be a total annually of your budget. Then underneath it is your income. So are you getting scholarships? Are you planning to work? And I don't need to know like where you're going to work for how much money, but you can assume, and don't assume that in college you're going to be earning $50 an hour. That's not going to happen, okay? And then if you have loan or help from your parents, obviously that is part of your income. And again, your income should be greater than or equal to your expenses. Questions on that one? These should be legit cost. If you pick UM, you need to find out how much it costs to go to UM. And if you literally go to any university's website, because I did it last year to confirm prices, you go to that website and you search for how much does it cost to go to school here, guaranteed they have a pretty little chart already laid out for you of how much classes are, how much books and fees are, and all that stuff, okay? And the last thing on here is a link to Mla Guidelines. So I'm going to put the link to this video explaining it right there. But then there's a link to Mla Guidelines should you not know how to format your paper. Questions so far? Okay. 2 really important things that people screw up all the time is your person is a source. So if you are interviewing your person, okay, then they are a source. If you are interviewing your parent about money, then they are a source. And on that link, you can search for MLA interview. How do you cite an interview? And it will tell you how to do it. It's like the person's name, the date, all that good stuff, okay? The second thing is as you are looking up this information, keep track of your websites because you need to include those. So if you say you're going to UM and you have fees from UM, then your works cited better show a link to the fees at UM. If your person, okay, went to University of Florida and you got the math description from UF, then you need to include that in your works cited. If you did research on apartments or anything like that, that needs to be part of your MLA works cited. Questions? All right, if you want to bump your grade up, then you can also include things like a presentation, God bless you, or a video or anything like that that would enhance what you've done. So in addition to the questions and answers, you can interview your person, you can compile it into a cute video, anything like that. You can animate if you love to do that, if you want to draw, okay, a little bit and add it to your presentation, then you can actually earn above the 100, okay? It has to meet all the requirements and then have some, but you can do that. Questions overall? Most of this research is going to need to be done outside of class. Obviously, this is individual. There will be days where if we have extra time, I give it to you to work on your interview project. If you get stuck and you can't find things, please feel free to reach out to me, but don't do it the last weekend. I won't even answer emails about it that last weekend. You've got 2.5 weeks to get started on this. You start emailing me Sunday night that you can't find fees, and I'm going to send you a nice little sorry about your luck in reply. So make sure that you don't wait till the last minute. The rubric is there on the bottom of your assignment. The works cited, if they're there and everything is included, is 5 points. The MLA format is 5 points. The course description is 5. The 8-semester track is 10. The budget is 20. The interview questions is 40. And the overall content is an added 10 points. Questions? All right.